Who could be a more perfect match for Hermione besides Ron and even Harry? Why is pairing Ron and Hermione considered to be Rowling's biggest regret? And were these two really meant to be, or was it just an unwise author's mistake?
One person couldn't feel all that. It'd explode.
Just because you've got the emotional range of a teaspoon.
There is a major debate as to whether these two should have ended up together, or if Hermione should have chosen someone else. It's time to look at every side of this argument. Perfectly imperfect. Ron and Hermione don't have the perfect relationship, but that's what makes it real and relatable. It's a friendship-based connection that's been progressing step by step since they first laid eyes on each other. Still, it definitely was not love at first sight. Actually, when they first met, it was obvious that they kind of despised each other.
I'm Hermione Granger. And you are?
Ron Weasley.
Pleasure.
Throughout the books and movies, they spent a lot of time arguing. But let's be honest, what couples don't? Especially when two total opposites get together, there are bound to be a few arguments here and there. However, they complete each other perfectly. Hermione brings clarity and cleverness, while Ron adds some spontaneity and humor to situations, which is clearly seen since the first days when they were just two kiddos, sometimes awkward around each other, embarrassed of their own feelings, and trying to hide them. But sooner or later, the truth always comes to light, especially in the magic world, where everything is designed to uncover secrets. The potion reveals it all. You must remember Amortentia, which is known for being the most powerful love potion in the wizarding world. However, it actually causes the person under its effect to become obsessed with someone instead of falling in love with them. One more interesting feature of this potion is that it doesn't have its own scent. Its aroma is supposed to be seductive, so it smells different to each person, depending on what they're attracted to. For Hermione, Amortentia smells like fresh-cut grass, new parchment paper, and something else that she never mentions aloud. But Rowling revealed in an interview that the third smell was Ron's hair. And this is direct evidence that one of the things Hermione finds most seductive is Ron Weasley, which means he was always the one she was most attracted to. A big reason why the two of them were meant to be. Their undeniable chemistry is seen in every book and every movie, and the potion just confirms it once again. However, it wasn't only Hermione's inner desires that were hidden from us. Behind our backs. As the films are mostly shown from Harry's perspective, we don't get to see Ron and Hermione all the time. Still, for all we know, they spend a lot more time together than we as viewers realize. For example, in the Order of the Phoenix book, Hermione actually spends the entire summer with Ron alone, without Harry there, which proves that these two are definitely drawn together, even if they claim to be annoyed by one another. There are a lot of other sweet moments between them, both in the movies and the books, like Hermione constantly choosing to play chess with Ron. Even though she's bad at it and hates losing, she is still willing to play with him because it's something he excels at. This attitude shows how much she really cares. Another sweet moment of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows was shown differently in the book and film. In the book, our lovebirds stayed up all night, and in the morning, Harry witnessed their hands within each other's reach, which means our sweethearts had been holding hands. And in the movie version, Hermione taught Ron how to play the piano, and we spot his longing stare at her. Both moments confirm their genuine feelings for each other and add one more point to the Hermione team. Even though all the cute moments are pieces that add up to a full picture of their love story, what really made fans root for them being together is the way they argue all the time, giving the impression of a long-married adult couple. The new Potters? Some fans noticed that if you look deeper, Ron and Hermione actually resemble James and Lily Potter. First of all, they are two of the most important people in Harry's life. If we look at it from Harry's perspective, they basically become the only family he has at Hogwarts. They also share aspects of Harry's parents' personalities. Their relationship actually parallels that of James and Lily's. Ron and James share a love for Quidditch and a silly sense of humor, and both of them help their women to loosen up. While Hermione and Lily are both Muggle-born, incredibly intelligent, and organized, constantly getting angry with James and Ron for being so reckless and carefree. I think everyone would agree, Ron and Hermione definitely get extra points for reflecting the Potter family love story. However, not all of their decisions and actions were as mature as a grown-up married couple. Dating failures. They both tried dating other people, developed crushes on several other characters, but always ended up back together. Ron dated Lavender Brown because he always felt like he was second-rate to the people he was closest to. So when Lavender was really interested in him, he got something he always craved: attention. Meanwhile, Hermione definitely developed feelings for Victor Krum, who saw her as an ideal lady and was as ambitious and overachieving as she was. Yet, neither of those short-term flings worked out, nor did Ron or Hermione pursue any other relationships. Because we all know when it comes to true love, no matter how hard you try to fill the void, everyone else seems wrong for you. This once again proves that no other girl or guy was able to replace the other for Hermione and Ron. One more definitive point is that they both got jealous when anyone else showed any kind of romantic interest in the other. And although relationships should never be built on pure jealousy, in this particular situation, it's a clear sign that they care about each other even if they can't admit it.
Next time there's a ball, pluck up the courage and ask me before somebody else does. And not as a last resort.
Well, that's just completely off the point.
But let's be honest, guys. After that ball, we all knew exactly what was going on. And the only thing that fans longed for was to see the two of them finally stop denying their feelings for each other. The moment we'd been waiting for. The grand finale of Hermione's story that absolutely completes the list of reasons why they've always been endgame. They finally kissed, and it was nothing short of legendary. Fans had to wait for a damn long time for Hermione and Ron to finally pull it together and intertwine in a flow of passion. Even though it was probably not the ideal place to get romantic, or the ideal time, down in the old Chamber of Secrets with Death Eaters parading around Hogwarts and Voldemort right on their doorstep, their passion and true love became more important than anything else, leaving only the two of them in this entire world for a couple of seconds. I won't believe that your heart didn't skip a beat when it finally happened. This kiss is the one and only evidence we needed to prove the point that the two of them were made for each other. Even the prospect of death didn't matter when these two were in love. However, even with such undeniable moments, some fans don't think that Hermione and Ron should have ended up together, and instead think that Hermione should have ended up with Harry, or even with another mysterious character. But we will talk about him a bit later. Replacing Ron. A popular idea among Harry Potter fans has always been that Harry and Hermione should have been endgame. There are numerous theories about how wrong Ron is for Hermione because of their differences, constant quarrels, and misunderstandings.
Ron, you spoiled everything!
While Harry seems to be the better option for her because they understand each other on a deeper level, share more common interests, and their relationship is steadier than Ron and Hermione's. And fans are convinced that these two could have been the definition of a power couple. And I bet you'll never guess who the biggest supporter of this pairing is. The author herself. One pretty shocking admission that Rowling shared after the series was complete is that she had some misgivings about pairing up Ron and Hermione. In an interview with Emma Watson 6 years ago, the author said that she put Ron and Hermione together because she wanted to see them together, but that in many ways, Harry and Hermione would have been the better fit, as they had much more in common and seemed to be able to make a real power couple. Rowling said, "I wrote the Hermione and Ron relationship as a form of wish fulfillment. That's how it was conceived, really, for reasons that have very little to do with literature and far more to do with me clinging to the plot as I first imagined it. Hermione with Ron." Though Rowling knew that her words would be met with rage and fury by some fans, she explained that distance has given me perspective on that. It was a choice I made for very personal reasons, not for reasons of credibility. There was too much fundamental incompatibility. Even though those statements indeed were heartbreaking for the Hermione fans, they chose to stick to the author's later comments. Rowling said that if we compare them to Harry and Ginny, who were originally written to be like soulmates, Ron and Hermione were kind of an opposites attract couple. She explained, "They are drawn to each other because they balance each other out. Hermione's got the sensitivity and maturity that's been left out of Ron, and Ron loosens up Hermione a bit, gets her to have some fun. They love each other and they bicker a bit, but they enjoy bickering, so we shouldn't worry about it." Whether or not Ron and Hermione should have been together in Rowling's eyes or not, all that truly matters for their supporters is that they did end up together. However, if some of you were hesitant about the best fit for Hermione and now you think you've picked a side, let me show you another option. What if I told you that Hermione actually had another secret admirer throughout all the books and movies, and he could have suited her much better than Ron, or even Harry? Another man. Did you know there was one more alternative candidate to win Hermione's heart? Any ideas who? The answer is Draco Malfoy! The idea of these two ending up together is extremely popular on the internet, and Hermione has a huge fan base. However, believe it or not, J.K. Rowling herself considered putting them together. The fandom went crazy about them, writing numerous fanfiction books, creating alternative video edits, and explaining why the two were meant to be. First of all, Draco Malfoy is quite a bad boy, and like any good classic love story claims, every bad boy deserves a good girl, right? Another reason is that fans consider these two absolutely the same, but different. And even though Draco Malfoy went down the wrong path, he's just as talented as Hermione. Very skillful with potions, capable of mending the cabinet, and loads of mostly dark but still pretty incredible things. Most of the Hermione fandom loves considering Draco defying his parents for her, the hidden evidence of their possible love story. Remember when Hermione, Harry, and Ron were captured by the Snatchers and held captive at Malfoy Manor? Draco played a role in the trio's escape by lying to his parents that he didn't recognize them. Now that's something, isn't it? And last but not least, the strongest fact supporting the Hermione theory is, of course, Rowling's statement. She has told fans, Draco harbored secret feelings for Hermione, and that the way he felt about her affected the choices he made at Malfoy Manor and at the final battle of Hogwarts. It was really bittersweet for the fans knowing that Hermione was almost a canon. However, there's no way to change history. What's done is done. No matter what side you're on, we might all as well just face it that Ron and Hermione ended up together, whether it was the right move or not.
You're a little scary sometimes. You know that. Brilliant, but scary.
Let us know in the comments who you think this brilliant but scary young lady's meant to be was. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this and want to know even more Harry Potter universe secrets, go watch our video about the other bigger regrets Rowling has about the series. And as always, stay awesome.